So I got back out there after my injury. I came in 6th overall, but my fitness has definitely taken a hit. So I just got back from the Run for the House 10K. I came in 6th overall, which was my 5th consecutive top 10 finish. So that's the good news. The bad news is I could definitely tell my endurance has taken a hit. Ran a pretty slow pace for me in a 10K, almost 7-minute mile pace, which was a bummer. Kind of frustrating when you know you're faster than that, but I've been out for essentially a month and that has taken a hit. I just couldn't maintain that pace. My first 2 miles were roughly right on pace, and then after that I basically hit the wall. Slowed to about 7-minute mile pace. I think I finished in 41 something. I haven't even checked the time because I wasn't really happy with it. So, but I came in 6th overall. You can't complain about that too much. I was injured, was able to run a race, so that's a major step forward and kind of motivation for me to get back into shape. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get back into my regular training routine here now. Feels pretty good after the race. I've been icing my knee all the time, basically every chance I get. So I do think it's trending better, and I'm hoping, like I said, I can get back to my normal training. So a little bit about the race, how it went and everything like that. It was a little bit of an interesting race because last night we had thunder snow of all things, and we had, kind of a wintry mix, snow and ice and rain last night, and it didn't get real cold overnight, so we didn't really have the icy streets, but we did have a lot of slush out there. My feet got a little cold, but it wasn't really too bad. I think it was in the mid 30s. So this was my 3rd time running the race course, and it seems like every time I run it, I forget that it's a little bit more hilly than I think it is. There definitely are a little bit sneaky hills that run through a subdivision in Okemos, so I kind of always forget. I always remember this as being a super flat race, but it seems like every time I run it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. There's all these little hills. There's no real big hills, but there's just like several little hills. So that's just kind of always funny how your memory can, you can forget those kind of things. But not overly, hilly, not overly hard run. All paved roads and everything. So it's a pretty fast race in general. I should have been able to do better than I did. The 10K I did like a month ago was on dirt roads and more difficult conditions. So I should have been faster than I was. I was a couple minutes off my time from last year. So I was a little bummed by that, but it is what it is. And one thing that happened to me, this has happened to me now twice I think in races. It was about 2 miles in and my shoelace came untied despite having double knotted my shoes. Like, I really don't even know how that's possible that that shoelace came untied, but I was like, in a race this short, I can't justify stopping and tying my race. So I ran the rest of the race with my shoelaces flopping all over and my shoe loose, but it worked out okay. I didn't trip. I didn't, my foot didn't come all loose because my shoes were on there pretty tight. Ran those with my New Balance flats, so there isn't really a lot of wiggle room there anyway. So that didn't really bother me, I don't think. I don't think it slowed me down or anything like that. I didn't really have too much interesting, like, back and forth chasing anyone down or anything like that. I was on my own for basically the last half of the race. I did manage to pass one guy that I always like to compete with. He's about my speed. I beat him again this year, so that was a nice thing. He went out ahead of me, but I caught him, and he seems to have a thing with pacing where he starts out faster and then ends up having to slow down. So I was able to pass him and never look back, basically. No one ever got close to passing me again. So pretty uneventful race in that sense. One of my former coworkers is pretty darn fast. He got 2nd overall. And I wish I would have been at full speed to be able to, I think I would have been right there with him, actually. I could have easily moved up a couple places if I had been like if I had run this race a month ago, would have been right there with him. So that would have been fun, but didn't work out that way. Had a ton of coworkers run this. This is a race that my employer sponsors, so we had all kinds of few fresh faces out there, which was great. Taking advantage that our company sponsors it and can run the race for free, so that was awesome. And you know, it's fun to cheer those guys on and see them do well and stuff like that. So that was an enjoyable part of it too. It was for a good charity, the Ronald McDonald House. So yeah, it's a fun race. I like to do it every year. Hopefully next year I'll be in, you know, perfect shape to be able to run this, and I'll do a lot better than I did this year. I was hoping I might be able to pull out a PR, but it was just obvious that my fitness has taken a hit after being out. So something to work on, something to get better at, and hopefully, like I said, I can get back to normal now and get back to my training. So I just wanted to get that report out there. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do a video on PFPS, which I've been dealing with my injury, runner's knee. That maybe will be helpful to people. And stay tuned. I'm running a 5K next weekend too, so I'll do a preview and a review of that. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like your content, and I'll be posting more videos soon.